That's predominantly the three reasons because of which either you have a brain freeze, either you over-explain, or either you don't understand the problem. Many a times, one of the reasons it happens is not because I'm not good at communication. It's because I lack clarity of thought. And I'll tell you why I say that. It's not lack of confidence, it's lack of content.
Why do some of the most intelligent and the smartest management graduates mess up things in client meetings? Is it because of overthinking or confusion or sometimes even lack of confidence? To unpack this, we have Dr. Sushant Rajput, an Amazon best-selling author, TEDx speaker, corporate mentor, and a VP in a big MNC. So far, we've always thought it's all about communications, but I think it's all about thinking right. Let's get going. I think the current management students, they have some major issue, especially in client meetings. Either they have a brain fog, freeze, or sometimes they tend to over-explain. And sometimes even poor understanding of the issue. What is this problem? Is it poor communication or poor understanding, or just they want to try to make a point outside?
Okay, let's take it one by one, right? So let's talk about the first part, which is brain fog, right? Or brain freeze.
Yeah.
Many a times, one of the reasons it happens is not because I'm not good at communication. It's because I lack clarity of thought. At that given point of time, I'm not sure of how I'm supposed to respond. And I'll give you a simple instance, right? Like most of the students, as students, including you, me, whenever we were students, we were able to get the concepts right, frameworks in
basics,
place. And then, but when we go, and all of this was so well structured, right? But your client meetings are not well structured. Things can come from anywhere. I'm not about anything. So I can do a lot of prep, but if one thing that comes which is nowhere related,
out of syllabus.
Exactly. So I'll be zapped, right? So I don't know how to respond to this.
Correct.
And that's where this lack of confidence or brain freeze happens. That's the first part. The second you mentioned about over-explaining. Right? Now, this is again something which happens with most of us. We are tuned to this right from the college days. Who answers first in the class is the smartest.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So what happens is before even anybody asks us anything, we are eager to answer it because we want to show that I know the answer. Whereas you might actually not be addressing what the person wants to hear from. Right? You are trying to answer something which is completely irrelevant, and this is when you need to allow the other person to complete, allow the question to sink in, and that's where your third point comes in terms of, are we not able to understand the problem correctly? Yes. The reason we are not able to understand the problem correctly is we have not listened to the problem completely. We have assumed that this is a problem that the client has. No. They say you should dig more, ask more before you give the right answer. One of the things that has been told to us right from school days is, when in doubt, raise your hand.
Yes.
And what we do is, as we grow up, we don't do that. We say, forget about raising that, let me first answer it.
Raise my voice.
Yes. Raise my voice, raise my opinion, raise my thoughts, whatever it is, right? So everything raises other than raising hands to get it clarified before even giving the right answer. Otherwise, what happens? It gets into explaining mode and then over-explaining mode. And at the end of the entire conversation, your client is going to go out saying that I still am not clear whether all my answers have been given, or the answers that I was looking for, have I got them or not.
Correct. So that means, can we agree that they are poor listeners?
Definitely they are poor listeners. And I'll tell you why I say that. Poor listening, and this is where I keep telling this in many places wherever I talk. There is something called as listening, and there is something called as active listening, right? And when I say you need to be an active listener, even the definition of active listening is pretty flawed. If you ask anybody what is active listening, let's say if I ask you, what is active listening, sir?
I think active listening is being thoroughly involved in whatever is being spoken and trying to, digest it. And also see how that can be interpreted, and maybe in the end, if something expected from you, you give a relevant answer.
Perfect.
Or a reply for that.
Perfect. So this is what we all have learned and understood, right? Whereas active listening is a bit more than that.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what I mean. we all know this particular thing has a capacity.
Yeah.
Right? It is not unlimited storage.
Yes.
Right? If this had unlimited storage, we didn't need books.
Yes.
Right? The reason books were written is we cannot recollect and remember everything.
Correct. Yes.
So we had to go back and refer something.
Yes.
An active listener is a person who doesn't just be there and attentively listen. He puts pen to paper. He makes notes. So that even after 2 days or 4 days, if he goes back, he doesn't need to scratch his brain to remember what was discussed.
Correct.
He has it in front of him.
Yeah.
And that's active listener from me. And today when I go and talk to many places, people just sit and listen as if some movie is getting played. No, you will forget me. You will surely forget me, right? If not in a day, maybe in a week. If you don't forget me, you'll forget what you have heard from me. And then it's not like you have the liberty to come back to me and say, sir, you remember you told me something. I am going to say that, where were you then? And that's when you need to go back and refer to what you have made notes.
Yes.
That's an active listener.
Oh.
And today that's missing. That's one thing which is missing big time, right? And each time and I'll tell you what happens. When we don't actively listen, it leads to self-doubt. People start thinking, am I not good at remembering things? Am I not good at understanding things? But that's nothing got to do with your capability.
Yeah, correct.
It's got to do with capacity. Everybody has a capacity. You cannot go beyond capacity. Even phone has a storage.
Yeah.
The moment I start overdoing it, it's going to delete what's there previously, right? And the same happens with brain. So let's accept that fact. And today we are in an era of information overload.
Yes, explosion.
In such a situation, in a day, I get to see so many things. I cannot recollect and remember everything. And the only thing I can do is go back. And today, people don't even need to carry a notepad and pen.
Yeah, it's there.
You have smartphones, right? So you can have a notepad. You just make a note there.
So basically, you mean to say that the current management students have to be a good listener.
That's the first thing.
Okay.
And the second thing, one of the things that I very commonly hear from people is, sir, I lack confidence. And each time I question them, are you serious? You lack confidence? Yes, sir. I said, okay, let's test it this way. Let's say I ask you to introduce yourself just for a minute. You're just introducing yourself. You're not talking about any topic or anything.
Correct.
At least I should know myself, right?
Yes.
And I'll not be able to talk about myself also properly. Why it happens? Why it happens? Because it's not lack of confidence. It's lack of content. Many of us don't lack in confidence. We lack in content today. And that's where the second big drawback or incapability stands is the habit of reading.
Correct.
People don't read anymore. People don't read anymore.
Yeah,
that's the biggest challenge, right? It goes this way, right? Lack of content is lack of communication. I don't read, I don't have content, I can't communicate, and there is no confidence.
Correct.
It's a simple thing, right? So if you read, you will have content. If you have content, you can speak. If you can speak, automatically you're confident enough.
Correct.
Right?
I think today most conversations end up with yes or no or maybe.
Exactly. And all of this starts with reading. And that's the second thing which I see is a big miss. And one of the things that has been told right to us from the time we were studying is reading or learning is a continuous process, right?
Yes.
And we forget that. For us, continuous process is now, I'm not against, fine, I'm doing a podcast myself. I can't say that I'm against this format of learning. But there is another format of learning where you read, because when you're listening to me, your entire thought process is confined. Right? You're only thinking the way I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
But when I read, I have the liberty to think the way I want.
Exactly.
I can come with any ideas, right?
Yeah.
That's always the case.
Yes.
So that's one thing. That's the second thing which we are missing. Third, and the most important that I feel is we are very bad at presentation. And when I say presentation, I'm not talking about PowerPoint. I'm not talking about Canva. I'm not talking about anything. I'm talking about presenting your own ideas.
Storytelling, you mean to say?
Yes.
Yeah.
We cannot present our own ideas clearly today. People don't buy your products. People buy your ideas.
Yes.
People invest in your ideas. People
exactly. The experience, the ideas.
If I'm able to convince somebody, let's look at this way, right? There are certain movies which make crores of rupees and certain movies don't. What is the reason? It's somebody is able to present the idea in a better way, right? It's all about the presentation.
Exactly.
If I'm able to do that, people will listen to me. You go to an interview, you go to a client meeting, you're just sitting there. The client is asking you something. You have all the content. If you are unable to present it the right way, he's not going to say wow.
Correct.
He's just going to say that I was feeling that as if I'm reading a brochure.
Yes. Exactly.
The way
There
you're
is no
talking
interaction,
you're
yeah.
talking is just like I'm reading a brochure, nothing more
Correct,
than
correct.
that.
Nothing
So
more than
what?
that.
Because again, we are in a world of AI, right? We were just
Yeah.
talking before this. The one thing that humans bring in is emotion.
Yes. And
A
if you
machine cannot get it, right? So if I
Exactly.
also lose that emotional connect, then they'll say, well, I'd rather read a brochure rather than listening to you, right?
correct, correct,
So
correct.
these are the three things I see as a big miss, and all three play a very vital role, irrespective
Yes.
of whether you're in management education or you're in any education. The moment you step out into the real world, these are the only three things. Your subject knowledge will always be there. That's not going to go anywhere.
Yes.
But after a certain point of time, your subject knowledge is not going to take you anywhere.
Correct.
Right?
You have to have experiential knowledge.
Exactly. And to drive that experience knowledge, these are the three things which are going to make it happen.
Correct.
So, and I see these are the three big misses. There are multiple others, but these three are the foundation.
Great. So I'm going to pick the last thing that you spoke about, emotional intelligence. I think the Gen Zs are being accused of having low or no emotional intelligence. How far is it true? You've been speaking to so many thousands of students in the last 10 years. And do you think that is true? Or do you think that it is there with them, but they're not able to express themselves? And how can they get out of that?
Okay, let me start with honest, honest acceptance. I'll not say they don't have emotional intelligence. They do have. They are actually emotionally overwhelmed.
Okay.
Too many things happening around them, right? So they don't know which to pick, which not to pick, what to really take, what not to take.
Correct.
But what is lacking is they don't know how to control their emotions. I'm not saying that my generation or our generation was excellent in controlling emotions. But the first thing that happens in when it comes to emotional intelligence, right? That's what we call it as, right? So there is an IQ, there is an EQ.
Yes.
Right? And most of us today focus on IQs. How intelligent you are, not how emotional you are. But let's accept the fact, at the end of the day, we all have to work with people.
Yes.
And when working with people, it's all emotions.
Exactly.
There's nothing other than that.
We're not working with machines.
Exactly. Even if you want to work with animals, you need emotions, right?
Yes.
So any living being, you need emotions, right? So in such a situation, emotional intelligence takes the prima facie importance. There was a gentleman called Daniel Goleman. So Daniel Goleman, back in 1995, he did a survey of top 100 CEOs. Okay, to figure out what are the factors which make them successful or make them CEOs. Okay, and of course he found that not all were intelligent. Many were average. In terms of intellect. But there's one thing all of them carried very strongly was emotional intelligence. And that's the time, 94, 95 is when he first coined the term emotional intelligence. That's when it came. He said, leaders are not successful because just of intelligence. It's the emotional connect that they build with people around them. And imagine these were the times when, as a economy, we were moving from manufacturing based set up to a service-based industry.
Correct. Yeah.
And service-based industry, human connect is more required.
Yes.
Right? Now, having that in mind, there are 5 components that typically form emotional intelligence, right? The first is called as self-awareness. What does self-awareness means? It means, do I know myself first? Because most of us, when you talk about emotions, it's about I understand your emotions. First understand yourself. If I know what triggers me, if I know what triggers me, what drives me, I can maneuver myself better in situations. If I don't know what ticks me off, I really cannot work with people. Knowing others' emotion is the next step, which is self-regulation. Like, how do you regulate among people? Among people. How do you work along with people? That's only when you know somebody, others, right? But before is knowing yourself. So self-awareness, then there's self-regulation. The third is basically social skills, which is basically now I know how you think, or let's say how you feel. But socially, how do I adjust myself to that, right? My social skills are not just emotions. It's beyond that, right? It's accepting your tone, your body language,
Correct.
All of those factors, right? Because not everybody sits the same way, not everybody stands the same way.
We're very unique.
We are unique. We are on, and that's the best part, right? And if it has to be that way, we need to be cognizant of the fact that you need to accept that. And not get emotional about it. Why are you standing this way? Why are you sitting this way?
Correct.
The focus is not on that. The focus is on what the other person is talking to me, right?
Correct.
The fourth is empathy. What's empathy typically? It's basically getting into somebody's shoes.
Correct.
Like how will I would have behaved in this situation, right? Now, the beauty of empathy is many a times we don't get into the shoes of the other person. We directly get into their lives. Saying that, okay, if this person is going through this, which means he's actually going through this. No, you are not supposed to get into their life.
Yeah.
You're just supposed to understand, okay, if this person has somebody sick at their home, which means mentally he's already occupied. So let's not bother him. Simple as that, right? The last one is motivation. Now, what motivates me as an individual? When you're working with me, you need to know what motivates me.
Correct.
If you don't know, you're giving me everything other than what really drives me.
Correct.
So emotionally, I'll always be low to work with you. Broadly, these are the 5 components. If you are able to work along with, your emotional intelligence automatically goes up. You'll be better to work with people. And I always say you're better to work with people, not delegate. Because delegation is again dangerous. Because we don't need leaders. We don't leaders here like Hitlers.
Correct.
Right? We need people who can work along with them. Right?
Take them along.
Work along with them. These are the 5 components which will drive. Get these 5 components from the time you are studying. You cannot say, let me go to the real world and then figure out.
Correct.
And I'll tell you the reason why I'm saying that. See, when I'm studying with people of my age group, which means the emotions are same.
Correct.
It's much easier to understand.
Yes.
It's much easier to maneuver. It's much easier to know what motivates them.
Yes.
But when we go to the workplace or when we go to the real world, I am working with 30-year-old, 50-year-old, 70-year-old, different emotions. Then I can't say, now I'll try to apply this. It's not going to work out.
Yes. Great. See, as a management graduate, you have to start from somewhere. And to reach to a particular pinnacle, is there a proper life cycle for this? And how do we, break this up? And what are the steps that, a management graduate needs to keep in mind through this entire process?
Okay. I'll break this entire ask into 2 parts. Okay. The first part is, and forget about management graduate, irrespective of any education and any graduate. Everything is a journey. Until you know that it's a journey, you will know how to maneuver the journey.
Correct.
If you're just going to take it as a passing phase of your life, you will not do anything.
Correct.
Because when it's a journey, you know exactly what to do today, what to do tomorrow. Now, let's go to the part where you still are within the college, right? Let's say you get into the college. Whether it's a 3-year course, whether it's a 2-year course, whether it's a 4-year course, doesn't matter. I feel the entire journey has 3 parts to it. When you are still in the nurturing phase, right? When you're still studying, there is an initiation phase, there's a learning phase, and then there's a departure phase, right?
Correct.
An initiation phase is typically when you're new to the system, right?
Correct.
You are trying to understand what are the
getting oriented
modalities of things, what are the rigor that is expected from you, what is the academic preparation that is required from you, what does your faculty expect from you, what is the industry that is expecting from you. So the day when I know the expectations correctly, I start molding myself, right? That's the initiation phase, right? One another thing that people miss during initiation phase is knowing yourself. And when people talk about knowing yourself, people say, I know myself. You know what? I can jog, I can run, I can eat, I can sleep. No, that's not what it is. Knowing yourself is what is that you're good at. If you got into engineering, is this by nature you're good in engineering? That's the reason you're here, or you're here because everybody is getting into engineering?
Correct.
Right?
Like a herd mentality.
Exactly, right? So if you got into commerce, is it by nature you're somebody who thinks like a businessman? Be there. If you're somebody who is inquisitive to know why things happen, they happen this way, that's the reason you're in science and you're in the right place. You're in science so that you can get into a better job, then don't be there, right?
Correct.
So it's that knowing yourself is basically knowing your strengths.
Yeah.
Many of them, even after donkey's years, they don't know what their strengths are.
Correct.
And the best part of strengths is strengths evolve. Strengths don't remain the same, right?
Correct.
And a very, very crude example that I always give when I talk is, as kids, we all climb trees.
Yes.
Today we can, we might not.
Yes.
That was strength back then.
Yes.
It cannot be strength now, right? It's evolving. I couldn't drive a car maybe when I was 20, but today I can. Now that's my strength. I know how to maneuver a vehicle, right? So strengths are evolving. So never think that they are rigid. So by the time you start the course, by the time you end the course, your entire strengths would have evolved. You might be a very introvert, or people say I'm somebody who is shy to speak to people, but by the time you finish 3 years, you might be outspoken person. So you have evolved, right? That's your strength now. That is something you need to figure out during your initiation phase. The next is the learning phase. Now, this is where you accumulate as much knowledge as you want. Right? Whether it's related to subject, whether it's related to the market, industry, anything, accumulate it as much as possible. And the best way to accumulate, again, irrespective of your background, whether you're an arts guy, whether you're a commerce guy, a science, management graduate, engineer, go out. Learn. Don't stay inside. Because within the, at least let's say in engineering and science, you have something called as practicals.
Right?
You learn something.
Project or something.
At least, right? But for others, you need to step out. You need to go and see how it is actually done in the real world. If you don't know, your learning is incomplete. You only
or very theoretical.
Exactly, right? So that's the second thing that you need to do. And today, thanks to most of the colleges, everybody is pushing for internships, projects. See to it that you don't do it like as if just for marks. I do this, I get a certificate. No, see this as an opportunity where you can apply what you learned. Right? That's the second. The last is the departure phase. Now, before you go out, see to it to three things. One, have you built a good network for yourself? Whether it is within your batch, whether it is outside your college, have you built a network? Because finally, one of the things that we all realize when we go out, network is what takes us to places. If not anything else, your intellect is not going to take you anywhere, right? It's the network that takes you. That's the first thing that you need to build. Check at least before you move out. Second is, what are the expectation of the market or the industry from me, and am I prepared for it? If you are not prepared for it, see to it that you build it before you go out. The last fag end of the journey is giving you opportunity to build it. That's the second thing. Third, and the most important, be realistic. Don't go with a glamorous mindset, right? That I go out and this is going to happen. No, it's not going to happen. You're not going to sit in an AC room all the time. You might be expected to go out, eat some dust. Be prepared for that. That should be the part which is part of the departure phase. Now, this entire journey, irrespective of what you're studying, if every individual looks at their entire education journey, at least a higher education journey, this way, they will come out well prepared. Otherwise, they'll always come out half-baked,
incomplete,
with unrealistic expectations, and with too much of brain freeze that we're talking about. Either the brain freeze or too much of stress or emotional overwhelming. That no, I was never prepared for this. I didn't know what, nobody told me this. This is when I'm in the journey. Now, once you're out in the journey, what happens? So there is another framework called as BEST. What it basically means, your first 1 year to 2 years of your career is the build phase, where you build yourself. You don't think about growing. Whereas the misconception is, I've got in, within 6 months I need to become a manager. Within 6 months I need to become this. No, you have not still understood the nuts and bolts of business. You still need to understand that, and that decently takes 2 to 3 years, initial 2 to 3 years. That phase is a build phase. The next is E, which is the evolve phase. This is where you grow. This is where you start looking at, okay, which is the area where I can think about focusing myself. Because when we come out, I'm good at this, I'm good at that, I'm good. But that's not a career, that's a job. Career happens over a period of time. And that's when after 3 years you figure out, okay, this is one area where I think I am good at. I can build on this. And that's when you start evolving in it, learning more about it, gathering more skills that can make you grow. The next is a stabilize phase, which is the S part. What does it mean? Now you need to think about, okay, I can very honestly say this is where I want it to be. Now what I do next? Right? Because typically the graph is going like this. The graph is going to plateau out. Now once it plateaus out, there are only two things that happens. Basic maths. Either it goes down, either it goes up. Nobody wants to go down. Everyone wants to go up. And that's where your last alphabet comes, T. You need to transform yourself. Now I have been in this field for so long. Are there anything else I can do beyond this? That's when the graph will start, and you need to transform yourself. Let's say if you're a marketing guy, you can think, is there a way I can get into doing some sort of a social service? Am I something comes naturally to me?
Yeah.
Now you are transforming yourself to do other things. And all of this decently takes 10-15 years.
Correct.
It doesn't happen in 2 years or 4 years. If any individual follows this path, I'll not vouch that he'll become the Prime Minister or the President of this country, but at least he'll become much successful in his career.
Correct.
He can look back and say, I walked through a journey where I'm proud about. I learned in a sequential way, not exponential way.
Correct.
Exponential growth is dangerous.
Yeah, it's a very good word.
Exactly, right?
But
exponential growth is good in business.
Correct.
Individually not. Yes. Because if my business grows exponentially, I'm very happy.
Yes.
I make money, my employees make money, stakeholders make, everybody makes money. That's good.
Correct.
But if I grow exponentially, chances are that I can go up quickly and go to come down quickly only, right? It's a simple law of gravity.
Correct.
It's as that. So broadly, before or during the education and post-education, these are the two things that really define your entire growth to transformation.
So you have to give the best.
Yes.
To get the best.
Yes.
Of your
to be the best.
Wonderful. Now, you know what? Let's move into a little bit more confession mode of the guru. Let's now discuss how you, when you started your, corporate life, have you made any, mistakes and you learned from that and you want to address that and tell that to the audience, especially the younger generation, the Gen Z, and want to make them understand that what they're supposed to do and what not to do. Something purely coming from the heart.
Okay. In terms of, when I came out, right, the one thing was there were hardly any opportunities.
Yeah.
Right? We came out in a world where, first of all, half the world didn't understand MBAs.
Yes.
Right? And the second was there were hardly opportunities.
Correct.
The first job that I had back in when I started working in Bangalore, the monthly salary was 5,200. But it was a big amount back then. But still, we were able to pay the rent. We were able to eat the food, right? But in all of this, there's one thing I had realized even before I came to the real world was that you had to slog. And I'll tell you, for this, right, I will always be thankful to my parents. Because one of the things that our parents taught us is, or we saw in them, is they slogged.
Correct. Always
slogged, right? And we realized it, we have to also slog.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, we got conditioned to that.
And nothing came easy.
Yes.
Including a simple bat.
Correct. Yeah.
Nothing came easy.
You had to earn it.
It was always there that you have to perform if you want to get something.
Correct.
Otherwise, you're not going to get, right? So with that mentality, when we came out, one thing was, at least the expectations were realistic.
Correct.
That I need to be on the road, I need to meet people, I need to build my connections, I need to learn, right? But in all of this, there was one thing which, like any youngster that I came out with, was overconfidence. I know things. I can make this happen. It's not a big deal. And I still remember my first client meeting back then. I was meeting a client in BTM only. There's a small company. It's a recruitment firm. I was into software sales. So I go and meet the client. I do the presentation. I talk. I was personally feeling I did a fantabulous presentation. I was feeling really very nice, overjoyed. After the entire meeting, the only thing the client asked is, I still didn't understand your product. One. Second, you didn't understand my problem. So you basically addressed everything even without even knowing my problem. And that's the day I realized, one, you need to understand the problem before you give a solution. And understanding a problem doesn't mean just listening.
Correct.
Dissecting it, right? What this problem really means to that individual.
Correct.
Right? That's the first thing. Second thing is, once you understand the problem, how do you build a clear conversation to address that problem and not telling everything that I know?
Correct.
Because most of us, what we do is we tell what we
know.
Correct. We don't go and try to tell them what they want to listen.
Correct.
These were the two important lessons that I always carried with me after that.
Wonderful.
And even till date, I always take a 5-second pause before I respond. Because have I got you correctly?
Correct. And you want to gather the
thoughts. And if you are not sure, they say again, I go back to what we started with. I raise my hand and ask, did I get this right?
Correct.
If I got this right, then yes, I'm addressing it right. So that was the one lesson which taught me how to understand your clients before even giving them solutions. And that still goes on, because at the end of the day, we are all working for somebody or working for something, right? The revenue doesn't come just like that. The revenue comes from understanding what my client wants, or what my subordinate wants, or what my vendor wants. Anybody it can be, right? If I don't understand that, then that's it. It's gone. I'm going to all over the place. Now, to answer your second, if I have a message, if there is something that they are...
Yes, as a 20 years of experience across so many verticals, I think there is something that you would want to communicate to the younger generation, what they have to look up to when they're getting, or either they're getting into the industry or they're stuck somewhere, something that you want to convey to them through this podcast.
I will use the same word what I mentioned for myself. Come out into the real world with realistic expectations. Don't come with fantasy expectations. That today I'm getting 10, tomorrow it will become 20. It will become 20. I'm not saying it won't, but it will take time. And if you want to move from 10 to 20, you need to prove yourself first. Because nobody's going to invest 20 in you, right? Just like that. Why they will? Because the rule of thumb is, if somebody is putting money in you, they are expecting more than what they have invested in you.
Correct.
If I'm putting 10 in you, I'm expecting at least 10x back. Otherwise, why am I investing it? I would rather hire somebody else, right?
Correct.
Simple as that. That's the first thing. Have realistic expectation. Second, please start reading. There is one habit which we need to pick up from our grandparents and from our parents, is the habit of reading. Because even now when I look back, many old people sit in the morning, read the newspaper, right? The reason they read is not because tomorrow there is an IS exam or a case exam.
Correct.
Right? They're reading it because they want to know what's happening around them, right? And it will give you content to talk.
Yes.
Because tomorrow there will be situation, not always there will be formal situation, there will be informal situation.
Exactly.
And you will be standing in a group, you will be completely lost.
Yes.
What should I contribute? So see to it that build the habit of reading. That's the second one. And the last and the most important is, don't overcommit and underdeliver.
Correct.
Many of us, whether it's interview, whether it's business, whether it's client meetings, or whether it's anywhere, we overcommit.
Yes.
I can do this also, I can do that also. And then we underdeliver. So you have already lost credibility. Don't do that. Many of the youngsters do this. Because in an interview, just to get the job, I'll say, sir, I'll do this also. You tell me what to do.
Correct.
And I give it to you, and then you are nowhere there.
Yes.
Simple example, like using Excel.
Correct.
Absolutely, sir. You tell me what to do. I say, please do this. And you will be figuring out what to open, where to close, right? That's simple as that. So broadly, these are three things that I want to leave them with.
Great. Dr. Sushant, it was wonderful having you on our show.
It was my pleasure being here.
I think you gave a very nice capsulated knowledge for a 2-year MBA course in this podcast. I'm very sure our audience, especially the Gen Z who are getting into the management jobs, or some professionals who may be stuck in their jobs, I'm sure they have a lot to take away from this session. I'm sure they can reach you out through your website and LinkedIn also.
Yes, they can.
And if they want to get more insights about how to progress in their career. But I really wish I had met you, when I started my career. But nevertheless, I'm sure I have picked up certain things and I would want to implement in my rest corporate career.
I'll take it this way. I hope whether audience takes something or not, at least the person who interviewed me got something.
No, I think there's a lot to learn.
Sure.
Yes, so we had a great time.
Thank you.
Yes, pleasure.
It's nice being here. Thanks a lot for inviting. It was, I'll not say it was something I didn't expect. I really expected that this conversation touches upon the key aspects which can help people, and thanks to you, really touched upon a lot of key things, and I hope it reaches the right people and they take it in the right way.
Yes, certainly will.
Sure.